All right, we are now in our third step in our series on prayer. On our pat, we have the R was recognize, P was praise, and now we're at A. A is ask. If you didn't ask, you didn't pray. I can't believe how many people tell me, no, it's not Jewish to ask. We shouldn't ask in prayer. Jews who are not afraid to ask for anything. I don't like my room in the hotel near the elevator. I want a better view. I don't want the French fries on this side with the Korean. This is not hot enough. I'm sending it back to the kitchen. Jews who are not afraid to ask for anything, we're afraid to ask God. God wants you to ask. He created our needs. We even thank God every morning for creating our needs. Because when we have a need, what do? We call out. We connect. God wants you to ask. Is there anything too big or is there anything too small? Is there anything too big? You're overreaching. You're using up your prayer quota. There is no prayer quota. God wants you to ask. It creates the relationship. Is there anything too big? There's nothing too big. Why? What has He already given you? Life. Is there anything greater than that? There's nothing greater than that. There's nothing too big. He's already given you the greatest thing. But you have to ask yourself, what do I want and why do I want it? Is this going to be good for me? The Almighty can't give it to you unless it's good for you. You can beg for bad things. My kids can beg me to give them chocolate for dinner and to let them drink alcohol when they're young. I'm not going to give it to them. It's not good for them. Through the process of prayer, the Hebrew word for prayer is lahit palel, to self-judge, to self-examine. Is this good for me? God answers every prayer. Sometimes He says yes and sometimes He says no. If He says no, there's a reason. If it was good for me, He would have said yes. So you have to examine, what am I asking for? There's nothing too big. Is there anything too small? Are we bothering God? Where He's got problems in the Middle East. He's got problems in the Eastern Bloc countries. There's issues in the world. You can't find your car keys? You're going to ask God? You're bothering Him? No. He wants you to ask. Better to build the relationship through the small things and not wait for some big thing to get our attention. Our relationship with our children, and it's not based on the big things. It's based on the small, tiny things. Don't tell your children, come to me on your birthday, come to me when you graduate, come to me when you get engaged, come to me for the big things, but in between you're on your own. Don't bother me. No. It's the little things that build a relationship. It's not my wedding anniversary that builds and defines my marriage. It's how we treat each other every day. It's the little things. God wants you to ask. There's nothing too big. There's nothing too small. I'm Lori, Almost Live.